My room's currently a mess at the minute. You see behind me, I'm building my new desk. Office is just an absolute state. But we have something cool to look at today, guys. Silver Palace gameplay. They actually did release a beta trailer. I saw it going around on Twitter, actually, yesterday. I think it got leaked. I saw, like, the first few seconds of it, but I wasn't sure if it was just, like, some, like, fan-made stuff or it was just somebody trolling. I'm not too sure. But it looks like it was actually real, which you can see here. We might watch that at some point, but I want to watch the gameplay. But before we get into it, I just want to let you know the signups for the beta test have gone live. I'll leave a link in the description and probably in the pinned as a pinned comment so you guys can check it out. Some beautiful music on the website, actually. So, with all that aside, let me close these out. Let's check out the gameplay then, shall we? Because for me, Silver Palace looked beautiful. I love the Victorian steampunk aesthetic that it kind of had and the elements of like fairy tale stuff in there, because I think at one point we were fighting a Cinderella boss, right? The whole vibe I was really into. I like the fact that it looked like we got like this detective style of gameplay. We could interrogate people by the looks of it, and we got things like werewolves and all this fantasy stuff looked really cool. My one main worry, if you will, was I was a little bit worried what the combat would be like, because I was worried that we were just going to get another rotation-based combat, and I just think trying to go up against Zenless and Wuthering Waves like that, especially Wuthering Waves, they do very good rotation-based combat. Would it put them at a bit of a disadvantage? They really would have to come out swinging. So hopefully we get to see a little bit more of the combat, because I'm curious to see what they're cooking here. A lot of people had issues with like the eyes with the characters as well, which I never really noticed as much for me personally. But it was quite it was a beautiful but almost jarring experience when we first saw it, because the visual fidelity of the environment was quite jarring compared to the way the characters looked a little bit for me, I think. But anyway, all that out the way, I am very excited about this game, like I think most people are. But let's see, has it kept up the hype? What is the gameplay looking like? And let's jump straight into it then, shall we? And have a little look-see here then. This is on Wada Games' channel here. They haven't uploaded it to their own channel, but it's on somebody else's channel. So let's have a look then, man. Let's get into it. Hopefully, they're cooking something good here. It looks like he's up to no good. We're going straight into gameplay here, are we? Okay, here we go. Oh, here we go. We can see the footsteps. Straight into like the detective element of it, which I'm a big fan of. We can see obviously straight away we've got the three characters. We're playing on a pad here. I'm assuming this is going to be on PC just with a pad rather than console. Okay, we got a grappling. Well, quite like the way we came down with that there. We repelled. That was quite cool. I gotta be honest right off the bat. That was a little bit stiff the way we entered combat there. It didn't feel great, but this is early footage, so we'll let it slide a little bit. Okay, we got our parry to our weapon. Okay, I think the way the enemies are reacting to our hits look very janky. Again, obviously, the game isn't out yet, so we know the game's actually being designed. So these are sort of things to expect. But it looks that, yeah, the way they've been affected by the impact of our hits looks a little bit stiff, a little bit janky. Okay, got our character switch there. So did we do like, was that an intro or a finisher into a character switch there? This dude looks cool. Like a power fist. Just gonna turn this down a little bit. I don't know how loud it is. Okay, so we got her using like it almost looked like a Western rifle there. Okay. So it looks like we've got dodge, skill, and then I'm guessing this is building up to like our ultimate, I guess. And then I'm not too sure what this is here. This R. Is this like some sort of scan thing? UI pretty much your standard gacha UI, right? Looks like enemies do have some sort of stagger bar as well. We can see this bar underneath the health. It looks like we've applied fire to them as well by the looks of it. But with this stagger bar, it's interesting. I'm assuming it's a stagger or a break bar. We've got like this central line here, and then we've got these two. So, interesting. I don't know how that works exactly. I do like how we switched from a sword to a ranged weapon. That's actually really nice. I like that. Okay. Is she using a wrench then? Oh, it's actually a shotgun. My bad. I thought it was a rifle. It's a shotgun. Okay, so we are very much doing rotation-based combat then, right? I do think this character looks gorgeous though. I really like her design. Okay, her ultimate. Okay. Okay, so her ultimate gives some sort of like slow lift debuff. And then we could just actually spam them. I wonder if we get like increased damage and stuff with that there, or like defense shred or something. Or it adds vulnerable or something to them. Look at Bro's glasses, man. Holy cow. Dude looks like he's dressed up for an S&M party. Oh, we've got some nice water effects on the clothes here. Very nice. Oh, okay, this looks like it's getting a... Get a room? I think we're getting into a bit of the interrogation stuff here, right? Okay, here we go. So yeah, I like that we can do this. I really hope this is something to lean into, right? That actually becomes something that impacts how things play out. Now, it's a gacha game, so it probably won't impact too much, and things that are incredibly important, we won't have too much agency, I wouldn't think. But I do like the idea of being able to make these choices in how we go about, I guess, retrieving the information from individuals. Again, we can clearly see here we're looking at like early footage because we're missing like a lot of the sound cues and stuff. If you know what I mean, like they're doing stuff here, and you can't hear like the ambient sounds, the audio of it grabbing him and stuff like that very well. It's expected. I'm not too sure what to think of the faces just yet. I like the design, like, or I don't know if they're lacking a little bit of expression in their faces. Now, him, I don't mind so much because obviously he looks like he's a sort of antagonist type character, but I'm assuming he's like a low level sort of, we don't care about him. But her, obviously she looks like she's the MC, right? I think she's lacking a little bit. Now, I can't remember, did they do much with the eyes? A lot of people notice that more than me. Have they made improvements on the eyes, do you reckon, guys? Okay, this is the dude that was in our party, yeah. I quite like his design, though. I do like his design. I'm a big fan of, like, the aesthetic. You know, the whole, like I say, this Victorian steampunk era. I do like that. And I really hope they lean into this, like, detective agency kind of stuff. I think, like, that sort of noir type aspect would be really cool if they really lean into that. Sorry. Okay, we're doing something. Ooh, okay. Some proper investigation. Oh, I really hope we get to do that then. Like, maybe, like, investigate crime scenes and stuff. That would be really cool, that would. Like, maybe they take a bit of, like, you know, bring in a bit of LA noir type stuff as well in interviews and stuff with people. That would be really cool. Obviously, they won't be able to do the facial stuff, but still. Okay. I'm interested in this. I like this. This is cool. All dependent on how much they use it and how in-depth and intuitive it is. Okay. I'm guessing this is like our
高跟
case
鞋作为
files.
物证，说明街头青年没说谎，
We're
确实
connecting
有
the
一名
dots, I
贵妇来过
guess.
此处。但高跟鞋上有某种残留物，让我很在意。目前看，格林之死案是一起由神秘女性用高温反应釜杀死了格林的事件。
我是听说过格林喜欢写和贵族丑闻相关的稿件。
I think his face looks better than hers, right? I think his face looks better than hers.
这点倒是对上了。
高跟鞋上有一种奇怪的物质，这个物
really like a design,
质
though.
我在尸体上也见到过，但无法分辨出它是什么。我想回去再看看尸体情况。
听你的。
Okay. Got some police officers here.
尸体不见了。
Who's this here then? There's a lot of leather-clad individuals, right? There's a lot of leather-clad individuals. I feel like fan art might get a bit crazy for this game. Again, this character looks cool though.
尸体已经收回警局，案件由我接管。这案子吸引了太多不必要的关注，严重影响公务。无关人士，立刻离开现场。
什么？但我们是警长邀请的协助者，不是无关人士。
I like her design as well,
劳伦
actually.
警长，
这个人是海军派来的督察雷克斯，
I don't know what he's saying, but she didn't like it.
专门管理警局的。没料到他会过来。最近上头抓警局作风抓得很严格，这件事
Even though he looks nothing alike, I don't know, I'm getting Japard vibes from this guy. I'm off the mark there by a mile, I know I am, but
可能得先放放。别说这么严重，他们只是路过这里的平民而已。没想到雷克斯督察会这么重视这个案子，好事啊！我们回去聊聊具体的事宜怎么样？
I really hope they, because like, obviously we look like we're in this sort of like alleyway here talking to this guy. I really hope they encourage like diving deep into like the back streets and really getting encouraged by these like clues to go investigating inside, you know, inside buildings, up on roofs, all that, you know, just getting all around the whole city. I really hope they lean into that. Like, I'm looking forward to that element of the game.
没问题，随后就交。
尸体被拿走，还牵扯到了海军。劳伦警长建议我们不要插手，也许我们应该回到事务所再做打算。
Everybody else's face looks better than the MC. Alright, bro, you're taking your sweet time. Come on. Okay, here we go. Alright. Open-world game. Man, look at the environment looks gorgeous though, right? They've really captured this Victorian style urban environment. You know, it's got a very like Parisian, London, European vibe to it. And I really like that. Bit of a steampunk element, light steampunk element. Okay, show more interior stuff again. Love it. What's this here then? Okay, I'm guessing these looks like they give us buffs. Yeah, so 2.5% there. Okay. Again, we are seeing some frame drops, some stuttering, you know, like I said, with the combat animations and stuff. I'm going to let some of that slide, though, because the game is in development. We haven't even got our first beta yet, so, you know, I'm assuming, like, the stuff we're seeing as well as, like, older builds also. So, won't rag on it too much for that. Like the little animation, though. It's cool. Damn, man, she got the gun out in the shop. Okay, so oh, we've got a party of 4. Okay. So we saw this horse before, right? I wonder if that's changed then, or that's just a little new thing. Because before, I think we could just take off, right? Do we have to use old updraft things now to take off? The city, look at the environment now. Packed, jam-packed, right? This, I'm not going to get into the conversation too much. We've got a bit of utility here, but the map looks absolutely jam-packed. That, for me, I'm cool with. We haven't got these vast open areas that look potentially empty. Just want to add that in there. The world looks gorgeous. What's that? It's in the background there. Interesting. So I'm assuming they have changed that then, right? Because I'm pretty sure in the previous gameplay, it looked like flight was pretty free. So it looks like it's a little bit more limited now. I guess they decided that they didn't want you to have too much power in that utility, I guess. That's what it looks like anyway. Some chest collection. That was terrible. We did have to get off the horse to get that, so that's really bad. Okay. What's that ring there? Okay, we're changing the time of day. Man, the city looks absolutely gorgeous. I wonder if we'll get any non-urban areas. Oh my god, look at that, like, castle in the distance. Okay, looks like we've got a stamina bar with the flight, have we? Okay, it looks... Okay, so... I think it doesn't burn down in glide mode, but I'm assuming we just glide and we eventually come to the ground, and then we can boost back up. Okay. And that replenishes our boost. Okay, so that wasn't there before, was it? So it looks like they've kind of introduced some limit to the horse's ability to get around. Again, look at how dense this environment is. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about density. This is exactly what I mean when I speak about environmental design. How, like, sometimes utility can drastically impact it, but it doesn't have to if it's balanced. And it looks like potentially they're trying to bring that down a little bit to offer that. So I'm intrigued with this. What is this stuff in the sky as well? Okay, I want to see more combat though. Okay, alright. There has to be a character like this, right? What the hell has she got with her? She got little creatures. I want to know how many interior locations we've got as well. So you can also see as well a lot of audio cues are missing also. Got ourselves a little monorail. I wonder if we can catch this as well. We kind of landed on that then, yeah. Okay, we're out of stamina. So look, we can continue to glide. Okay, so I'm guessing we just can't boost back up now. Yeah, okay, okay. So we can, it looks like we can glide forever. But we can't fly forever. I will say, it does look like there's lots of interesting areas. I think I can find myself exploring this world quite a bit. That it looks like there's lots of places to go and have a little look around and let your curiosity to kind of take over. Okay, a little bit of combat. Let's go. Okay, got our parries. Okay, a little indicator of where the enemy is. Okay, looks like this shotgun applies fire then, yeah. Okay, so it seems everybody has some form of melee and some form of range combat, yeah. So it looks like we've got a bunch of debuffs applied here. We've got some purple one, don't know what that is. I'm assuming this is just fire, right? And then I don't know what this is either. Okay, interesting. I will say, like, the combat looks fine, right? It looks fine. it doesn't look like, if you're talking like rotation type combat, right? It doesn't look like it holds up to like Wuthering Waves sort of standards. But we don't know exactly how we're going to be doing the rotation. Is it going to be that? Are we going to have a little bit more potential team synergy in different ways? We just don't know, do we, just yet? But I do like the switching to range combat. That's quite satisfying. As somebody who does like shooters, that third-person shooter feel looks nice. Again, it's super early, so some of the combat does look a little bit janky. Some of the textures here and there do look a little bit low. I just can't get over how much I like the environmental design. I really, really am a fan of it. Okay, we saw this before as well. Very, Bioshock. Okay, looks like we've got another interior location here as well. That'll be an interesting factor. With it being urban, I want lots of places to be able to go inside.
如果海军派来的督察接管了警局，不知道里面会是什么样的情况。你要进去吗？
Does that look like we can go through the window? I guess we're sneaking in here, maybe?
我进去，你留在外面望风。
明白。
I wonder if that's going to happen. I like the idea that potentially, like, if we do this, like, investigation stuff and we're sometimes maybe doing a bit of sneaking around, the idea of maybe infiltrating places, that sounds interesting. If that's what they were alluding to there. Okay, it looks... Okay. So we didn't get to do it. It just put us in there. Be interesting to see if we actually get to do that. I like the idea of being able to enter buildings in different ways, you know. Through the front door, through a window up there, maybe getting some other way, going guns blazing, going quiet. Obviously, we're doing investigation, we want to be quiet, but, you know.
现在得把东西带出去。好了，出口就在不远处。
Okay. Bit of stealth. Interesting. What's the glowing mean? Does that mean we're in cover totally or something? Look pretty standard affair stealth, right? Didn't look like anything spectacular.
所以我跑到这边等你。
做得好，你的判断很正确。
证物找到了吗？
拿着快走。
Oh, what's this? Okay, is that a Doberman? That actually looks cool.
你知道，我们有权逮捕擅闯警局
Oh,
的
it's him
人。
again. Okay, that's kind of cool.
我们本不必是敌人。
率先破坏规矩的你，没有资
Those
格说这句
Dobermans
话
look。badass.
小白，
Oh no, we're going to be fighting dogs. Okay, boss fight by the looks of it. Okay, so it looks like she's the one that applies this purple attribute, whatever the hell it is, I don't know, but we can see it's applied to him here again. We can see boss health as well. Okay, so this bar here, is this what's relevant to our ranged attacks? Because when she started shooting then, this purple bar for her started to empty, right? Okay, so he looks like he does lightning or electric. So I wonder if we're going to have like some sort of elemental reaction, affliction type system where we're going to be bouncing off, obviously, different elemental attributes of characters and chaining them together, or, you know, getting a bit of synergy with them. We're applying burn now. Okay, I'm guessing he's water, so we've got lightning, fire, water, and whatever the hell this is. Okay, that look cool. Music slaps. Okay. okay, this is showing off the combat a lot better. We actually glad they showed off a boss fight like this. Again, I still think it looks like it's got a bit of ways to go, right? But it's not even out yet. We haven't even got a beta yet. This is making the combat look a little bit better than the other combat that we got to see. Sorry. So, okay, all right. Parrying looks like really powerful. I like this dude. Interesting. So it looks like we've got sort of like almost like finisher type moves or stagger type moves, and then we can activate that and then switch characters. So it looks like we can combine like sort of an intro attack with them doing a finisher at the same time, like sort of a tag team attack. Okay, it looks like we can stack that as well because that had one for both of them. So I'm assuming we can stack these elements as well. Yeah, look like we've got one stack of lightning. Yeah, that's cool. I do like the environmental interaction here, you know, like how that we're churning up the leaves and stuff as well. I like this is cool. Bro, this music goes so hard. Oh, he's a bartender. Okay, that was cool. Okay, so the combat looks really good. It does. I think it does look man, that's a great pose as well there. Again, obviously, going up against a game like Wuthering Waves, and even like Zenith Zone Zero, right, that have really good rotational based combat or resource based combat, but still, you know, with the typical loop in ZZZ being like rotational, but you know, it's a bit more resource heavy there. It looks good, right? It looks good. I think this looks fun. This looks like a fun time in terms of combat. I guess my only worry when I talk about this, right, which I've mentioned it before, I'm worried that everybody's going to try and do what Wuthering Waves has done and not do it as well. And we're just going to have a bunch of games that are trying to do that sort of thing. And it's going to be a bit of a shame. Now, obviously, I can't judge this too early because we kind of need to see how this rotational combat works. That being said, this boss fight, I think he's doing a decent job of showing off like what looks like quite fun combat to me. And I think some of the animations are definitely early, right? Some frame drops. This music's so hard. I got bit slapped. Yeah, she's like, you're a pussy, bro. Thought you could step to me. A common enemy? Okay. All right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. We got a good amount of gameplay there. Okay. I'm glad we got to see a bit of a boss fight because I think it actually was a good chance to show off the combat a little bit more, right? Because we got to see other combat, but I don't know if it really showed it what it's capable of. We got to see like a little bit of gameplay with us doing a little bit of light stealth work, a little bit of the investigation work. I would have liked to have seen more of that possibly, and maybe a bit more of the interrogation type stuff. Glad to see that looks like there's quite a few interior locations. The map design is beautiful. The environmental design for me, this is cool environmental design with having utility. This is the sort of stuff I was trying to express before, that it doesn't mean you have to really bend. Now, it depends on the utility and depends on how you're designing things. It can force you to do so, but it looks like they've really struck the balance here. We've got utility, we've got movement, but we've got what looks like an incredibly well-designed map that's incredibly dense, has a lot of POIs and lots of places to go explore as well. So I think they absolutely nailed that. The world itself looks beautiful. That freaking huge castle we saw in the distance as well was insane. It's got the typical gacha UI. It looks like we've got like little shops we can go to get buffs and stuff. Definitely got this sort of like noir type vibe. I think the worst thing they did here was showing off this as the initial bit of combat, because this bit here, when we first got into this here, looked a little bit... I like this rebel. But this here didn't do it any favours, right? It was just a little bit stiff, but, you know, whatever. And some of the animations in how they were reacting to us looked a little bit rough as well. But overall, I'm excited about this game, right? I like that they're doing something different. I like that it's got a cool setting. I'm very interested in the setting. We didn't really get to see too much of like the fairy tale stuff in this here. I like that everybody seems to have a ranged and a melee weapon as well. I'm interested in that. I'm curious of what the story is going to be about. I really like the idea of maybe going and doing like investigations and having a little bit of agency. Hopefully, it's a gacha game though. Even non-gacha games really fail at giving players agency a lot of the time, don't they? But all that being said, I think there's definitely some real positives to take out of this. I think the world looks beautiful. The combat looks decent. I won't go and say it's the best thing since sliced bread. It just looks pretty decent. Some of the character designs look amazing. I think the main character's character looks amazing, but her face just doesn't look as good as everybody else's, which is interesting. But the world itself, I'm really sold on the world. I am really, really sold on the world. And I will be signing up for the beta. As I say, I'll leave a link down below for the beta sign up, guys. So if you want to try it out, go check that link out and try and get yourselves into the beta. I think it runs until early January, the sign up phase. So you got yourself a couple of weeks to check it out. And hopefully, sometime early next year, we're going to be getting the beta. Because, yeah, I'm quite excited about this game. I think I'm a little bit more excited now. Because initially, this was a game that looked amazing. But for me, it was one of those that it almost looked too good to be true when we first saw it. And I was like, are we getting a Watch Dogs moment here? Are we getting Ubisofted? Are we going to get something that looks way lesser when we actually get to see it properly? So I'm glad we actually got to see some combat here. And it looks like somebody genuinely just playing the game. So that's really cool. So yeah, I will keep my ear to the street with this game because it is a game that's on my radar. And hopefully it can live up to the hype as well. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think down below about Silver Palace. And give me a like if you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you all in the next one, guys. All right. Ta-ra.